Hello students, welcome to digital class. Today we are going to discuss about an exciting topic, freedom movement in Hyderabad state. We have divided this lesson into two parts. Today let us see part 1. In the previous class we have discussed about freedom attained by India with the sacrifices of so many leaders. That is, the movement which was led by him in so many areas. We have discussed about Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919. National movement has been taken away by Abak by non-cooperation movement which was held in 1920 and 21, disobedience movement which started in 1930, and Gandhi took march, that is Dandi march, from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi for the rights of the salt. And later on we found in 1942 Quit India movement which was erupted India's freedom movement, and later with the sacrifices of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Bhagat Singh, Subhash Chandra Bose, we attained independence after the partition of India into Pakistan and India with the help of so many freedom fighters. At last India attained independence on 15th August 1947. Children, today in this session we shall learn how Hyderabad state attained freedom, starting from the location of Hyderabad state, how Nizams ruled with the help of Jagirdars and Deshmukhs in various places, and Andhra Mahasabha, Andhra Janasangam. The people got so much of knowledge to fight against the Nizams with these institutions. Students, if you are ready with your textbook and notebooks, let us start. I am sure children, after the completion of this session you will be learning about the present day Telangana state was ruled by the Nizams under the paramountcy of the British. In Hyderabad state, like Agoranatha Chattopadhyaya, Mullah Abdul Qayyum, etc. Read concepts like Jagirdars, Samsthanams, Deshmukhs and Firmans and reflect on the feudal system of the state. Locate Hyderabad city in Telangana map. Analyze the impact of religion on the language of the state. Know the developments of the Nizams in Hyderabad and about Mir Osman Ali Khan. Realize that the library movement led to the awakening of the importance learning Telugu language. Praise the efforts of the members of Andhra Mahasabha in countering the inequalities existed then. Appreciate the efforts of young Congress leaders of the Hyderabad state who established Hyderabad State Congress and their active participation in the national freedom movement. Language and religion. The last Nizam who ruled from 1911 to 1948. Andhra Janasangam, library movement. Andhra Mahasabha and Hyderabad State Congress we are going to see today. Let us get into the core topic of what we are going to learn today. Nizam's Diwani and non-Diwani areas. Students, you can observe this map. On this map you can find some of the areas of Hyderabad state which are located here. Yes, yellow shaded areas are Sarfikas. Sarfikas are nothing but Nizam's own rule areas. Paigans, Jagirs, Samsthanams, green shaded areas, and other areas are present in this map. Actually, Nizams belonged to Asaf Jahi dynasty who ruled Hyderabad state. They were subordinates to the Mughals. From there they attained freedom and they established their own new kingdom and Asaf Jahi dynasty. That you can see, Asaf Jahi dynasty ruled Hyderabad state from 1724 to 1948 and they were subordinates to Mughal emperors, and there finally they got the help from the Britishers and Britishers had paramountcy on the Hyderabad state, and they also appointed the residents in the court of Hyderabad state. Students, let us understand what does it mean by paramountcy. Paramountcy is nothing but supremacy shown by other rulers on some other kingdom. That Britishers have shown their paramountcy on the Nizams. Let us also understand what does it mean by residents. Residents are nothing but ambassadors or diplomats of the British who existed in the court of the Nizams. That means Nizams could not take their decisions independently. They have to be under the preview of the British. Let us understand some of the regions which are there in Hyderabad state. That are Marathi speaking region, Kannada speaking region, Deccani Urdu speaking region, and finally most of it Telugu speaking region was that. That is nothing but Telugu and Deccani Urdu speaking region, as you call it, Telangana region, is predominantly of Telugu speaking people living in that. Early years of nationalism. What does it mean by nationalism? It is nothing but as a nation you feel you belong to one nation. You get the feeling of you belong to a certain nation is called nationalism. In Hyderabad state you found nationalism started with Agoranatha Chattopadhyaya. He was the initiator of nationalism along with Mullah Abdul Qayyum, and he established an organization called Anjum-e-Marif which served social, economical and intellectual ideas of the people of Hyderabad state. Here noting point is that Mullah Abdul Qayyum, being a Muslim, started educating people against the atrocities of Nizams in Hyderabad state. Newspapers also have emerged to educate people, to get the knowledge for the people, like Hyderabad Telegraph, Deccan Standard and Muslism-e-Safiq, etc. These all newspapers have got nationalism feeling in the people. They instilled national feeling in Hyderabad state by reading these newspapers which are printed in those days. Not only newspapers, some missionaries like Christian missionaries, Reverend Gilder of Chadargarh Methodist Episcopal Church have also done so much awakening programs in Hyderabad state. Arya Samaj also was established in the year 1892 with the help of some giving training, building activities and religious fervor in the people. It is the mixture of religious fervor as well as political aspirations during this time of missionaries who brought so many changes in Hyderabad state. Feudal system of the state. If you understand Nizams, you have to understand definitely the feudal system of the state. Feudal system is nothing but a social practice, a social system where resources are belonging to only one sect of people, where others are treated as laborers. That feudal system existed in Hyderabad state. That are Jagirdars. You can find subordinate kings of Samsthanams. Jagirdars nothing but having dozens and even hundreds of villages, ruled and collected taxes and given to the rulers, the Nizams. And some of the Samsthanams during the time of Nizams were Vanaparthi Samsthanam, Gadwal, Domakonda, Sirnapalli, Kollapur, Palvancha, Atmakur and Alladurgam were some of the Samsthanams. They became the subordinates to the Nizams and ruled according to the wishes and desires of the ruler. Yeah, you can witness here beautiful forts are there of Gadwal Samsthanam as well as Vanaparthi Palace. Still they exist here. Deshmukhs are rich landlords. Deshmukhs are nothing but they are given high titles to hold the land and to rule their area and support the rulers of this area with their military support as well as collecting taxes and giving to the ruler. But the Nizams desired old system of ruling the state with Jagirdars, Samsthanams, Deshmukhs. That's why they said no to democratic values and legislatures. Legislatures nothing but taking the decisions according to the wishes of the people, and democratic values nothing but ruled by the people is called democracy. That Nizams didn't want to rule their kingdom according to these values. The ruler was Mir Osman Ali Khan, introduced firmaments of royal orders to curtail nationalist activities in the state. Language and the religion. Here in Hyderabad state, language and the religion, they contrast each other. It is nothing but there is a lot of impact on the language by the religion, because 90% of rulers and officers are Muslims and they speak Dakkani Urdu. As well, you can see 90% of the people in the state, they speak Telugu and little bit areas Marathi and Kannada. But whereas Nizams have decided Urdu as the medium of instruction from primary to university education. That's how our Telugu speaking people have got discriminated in the sense of medium of instruction, having Urdu as the medium of instruction in the institutions rather than Telugu spoken by most of the people in Hyderabad state. You can find Nizam had no interest in setting up of schools. That is biggest question. You can understand Nizam had got suspicion over the educational institutions and anti-Nizam activities would take place in the schools, and if people are knowledge, they question the ruler. That's why they did not encourage education in the schools, not even setting up of schools in areas. And finally, no admission was taken into universities where people studied in Telugu medium. Only those who studied in Urdu medium during the time of Nizams were inducted or given admission into the universities. That's why you can see literacy rate in different states during the Nizam rule. Hyderabad state has got 9.3%. Travancore, which is there in Kerala, has got highest 47% in princely states. Baroda, the part of Maharashtra, has got 23% of literacy rate, and finally even Mysore, also the part of Karnataka, has got 12.3% of literacy rate is there, ahead of Hyderabad. What was the reason for this backwardness of literacy in Hyderabad state? Is nothing but the importance was not given to education during the time of Nizams who studied in Telugu medium. Rather, they did not set up some facilities of education who study in Telugu medium. Urdu was the official language. Officers, institutions used Urdu, that is Deccani Urdu, that is called Hyderabadi Urdu, was used during the time of Nizams. Yeah, you can find this is the image of the last Nizam, and he ruled Hyderabad state from 1911 to 1948. To some extent, Mir Osman Ali Khan has been modern in administration. That's why he took initiation to set up a lot of institutions and also lot of palaces were done in his reign. Let us see some of his agriculture importance and irrigation importance was given by him, setting up of some reservoirs like Nizam Sagar, Ali Sagar, etc. And these were designed by a great engineer, Mokshagundam Vishveshwaraya. This is the image of Mokshagundam Vishveshwaraya. Nizam also concentrated on industrial development. That's why Industrial Trust Fund was created of rupees 1 crore during his time to spend for the industries. Let us see some of the important industries set up by Mir Osman Ali Khan during his reign. The first and foremost, you could see the world famous Singarini collieries were set up along the coast of Godavari river in the Godavari basin, that you can see, that is the emblem of SCCL, Singarini Collieries Company Limited, and this is the coal miners are extracting coal from underground mining. And also he set up Nizam Sagar factory in Bodhan in Nizamabad district, that is the factory you can see in the image. Paper mill was also set up at Sirpur Kagaznagar, that is present in Komarambim district. This is the paper mill which is present in Sirpur Kagaznagar. You can see Ajamjahi mills which are found in Warangal, that are nothing but textile mills are found by Nizams. Students, let us understand why a ruler has taken an interest in setting up of some of the industries. When the industries develop, you could see employment opportunities are given to the rural areas. Not only that, indirectly they can get extra taxes from the people when the income levels increases. That means two benefits out of setting up of industries. One is an employment, the second one is income generation for the people as well to the government. That's why during the time of Nizams you could see employment opportunities have been increased, and state economy also has been manifold due to industrial development. Hyderabad State Bank also set up in 1941, that you can see SBH, State Bank of Hyderabad, has become very famous in those days, and in recent times 2017 State Bank of Hyderabad has been merged into State Bank of India and graded as one of the finest banks in India. Hyderabad state currency is called Sikka. You can see some of the images on the screen. This is of Ana, they call like coins, and some of the currency notes you can see. Students, we are very proud that the Nizams have introduced their own currency in the princely state. Had no other princely state in India had introduced some of the coins, some of their own currency. The one and only the state, princely state, which introduced currency was our state, that we should be very proud, and we also think that we are very advanced to other states. Public institutions which are set up during the time of Nizams, you can see here beautiful buildings are there, institutions are there, that are Osmania General Hospital, and this is where so many have educated and become very great in their life. This is the institution Osmania University. Students, can you identify what is this? Yes, this is High Court. At present we are using for Telangana state. This is Central State Library, where you can study hours and hours together, available of so many books. This is Unani Hospital, and this is Jubilee Hall. Students, can you identify what is this? In our textbook it is there. Yes, this is Town Hall, is nothing but State Legislative Assembly. This is Hyderabad Museum, now it is called State Museum. This is Hyderabad House in Delhi. Mir Osman Ali Khan also established the archaeological department, the Department of Heritage Telangana it is called now, to preserve all the monumental architectures by our state. The archaeological department has been set up. So Mir Osman Ali Khan was over ambitious and wanted to rule. Even Britishers left India after the independence in 1947 against the wishes of the people. Here let us understand a small irony, where the ruler wanted to be independent king, independent state, that is nothing but Hyderabad state, but most of the people, that means 10% of the people in Hyderabad state wanted to stay with independent India. Andhra Janasangam, a library movement was set up to educate people. In the early 20th century, translated number of books into Telugu in Andhra and got circulated in Telangana also. Most of the libraries are set up in towns and villages to educate people towards freedom. Sri Krishna Devaraya Andhra Bhasha Nilayam in 1901 set up by Komarraju Lakshman Rao, Nayani Venkatadurga Rao, Ravichettu Rangarao, and discrimination based on the language was done in the year 1921 in Vivekavardhini College, where resolution was brought in Telugu rather than Urdu or English was offended, and linguistic debate led to Andhra Janasangam. Let us all understand, children, we belong to Telugu land, we speak Telugu language, but the Nizams who came from other areas imposed on us Urdu. When a student wanted to speak in Telugu in the universities, they have been discriminated, humiliated. So we should all strive for our own mother tongue. That's how Andhra Janasangam and Andhra Mahasabhas were set up. Andhra Janasangam was set up in the year 1921 to bring, it was set up by Madapati Hanumantarao to set up libraries, reading rooms, manuscript, small booklets. 4,000 schools were set up, depicted problems faced by traders, peasants, laborers and poor people. Andhra Mahasabha was set up in 1930 by Madapati Hanumantarao. Ravi Narayan Reddy etc. had got some objectives like creating more educational facilities, prayers and requests to the government for schools. After the meetings and demands were set up in 1935, compulsory primary education, mother tongue, medium of instruction is Telugu. Legitimate rights of people in Jagirs should be implemented. Reading activities should be done all over our state, conducting night schools, read great books of Veerashalingam and Gandhi and Nehru etc. They wrote books on socio-economical problems so that they should be connected to the people, and newspapers also emerged and are read worldwide. Yeah, you can see, children, on the screen, it is the Golconda Patrika, and it was edited by Suravaram Pratap Reddy and inspired Kaloji Narayan Rao and other poets of our state. Andhra Mahasabha and its activities have spread throughout the state, like suppressed by the Nizams, and radical thinkers joined Communist Party in 1940 and opposed VIII and demanded land reforms. VIII is nothing but the bonded laborers who work in the fields of landlords without expecting any wages, without given any wages, is called VIII. And you find they were oppressed by Doras who were present in those days. Hyderabad State Congress. The Indian National Congress functioned in the British ruled India and did not function directly in princely states. Congress leaders formed Hyderabad State Congress to fight for fundamental rights, democratic rights, reforms, representative governments. Hyderabad State Congress in 1938 was set up, and everywhere in the villages, towns, schools, colleges, Vande Mataram was sung, but it was banned by the Nizams in schools and colleges and started singing in the streets. The students came out and they migrated to other states for education, as the education was not given in our state. Prominent leaders like Ramananda Tirtha, Jamalapuram Keshavarao, J.V. Narsingarao, Burgula Ramakrishna Rao, K.V. Rangareddy, along with some of the young leaders, very famous Congress leaders who fought for the national movement in Hyderabad state were Dr. Marichanna Reddy. He was our former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and very famous P.V. Narasimha Rao Garu, former Prime Minister of India, who fought violently in our state as an young leader for the national movement and participate most of the national movements. They demanded freedom of speech, association, press and religious procession, elected representatives, rule of law. Elective representatives is nothing but by voting a ruler can be elected, like our MLAs or MPs. And rule of law is nothing but rule is rule, rule for all, either may be president, prime minister or chief minister, or a common layman in a state had to follow same law. That is called rule of law. Participation in national freedom movement has done in 1942 with Satyagrahas. All Indian Quit India movement was there, and these all freedom fighters have participated. In 1946, the merger of Hyderabad state into the Republic of India had been done. Let us understand one of the famous leaders of Telangana state, Konda Lakshman Bapuji, who fought for the rights of popular leader, fought against caste-ridden rural discrimination, opposed VIII in Armoor Taluk of Nizamabad district, fought against reality of procession, caste-based labor and material extraction was done, and armed action against the Nizams, trained people in throwing bombs, being lawyer defended the poor against Vishnuri Ramachandra Reddy, close associate of communists, and fought for the rights of the poor. He was one of the strongest supporters of state separate Telangana state. Let us see some of the keywords, children. First one, firmans. Firmans are nothing but royal orders given by Hyderabad state rulers, the Nizams. The second one, VIII. VIII is bonded labor. Feudal system is nothing but social system. Fourth one, subordinate kings. The rulers who work under the main ruler is called subordinate king. Legitimate rights. Legitimate rights nothing but the legal rights which are to be given to the people who are living in a state or in a country legally. Well students, we have come to the end of this session. So far we have learned how the Nizams ruled Hyderabad state and how some of the freedom fighters or some of the prominent leaders fought for the awakening of Hyderabad state people with their library movements or participation in the national movements. Well, in the next session we shall learn in part 2 about how these small agitations or satyagrahas turned into the Telangana armed struggle. In that we shall discuss about how the Nizam was opposed by some of the leaders like freedom fighters of Telangana we can call. All the very best. Thank you. Have a good day.